for you. Now, thank you so much for attending this workshop, LinkedIn Summary Writing. I've been in this space of people development for about half a decade now, a little bit more, stemming from mentorship, stemming from working with young people in college and career access, and always having to support people through this journey of how do we get a hold of our own narrative, and then how do we transition that into the digital space? How do we share that through a summary? And how do I do so in a way that captures all of my interest and what I'm able to do and how I can be of value in my future opportunity or to my next client or whatever might be relevant for you. So hopefully today's workshop will clear up a whole lot of what you might be trying to sift through, because I know it's a lot and we should not be trying to go at this stuff alone. We all need this type of professional development support. Even coaches need coaches. So I've developed a framework that I believe is really, really constructive in helping to consolidate our thoughts and focus in on what we want, as opposed to trying to reach for language that we think our audience wants. It's really about an introspective process of honing in our story, our why, and articulating that in a way of, hey, despite where I've worked in the past, I still have these strengths that always live with me. I still have these interests, these values that always live with me. And I can go about doing this work or having this impact in my next job or for my next client or however you might see fit. So without further ado, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen, and we're going to get into the slides of this and really start the meat of developing your LinkedIn summary draft. Okay, we had a couple more folks just pop in, so I'm going to reiterate. Please don't hesitate. Use the chat box throughout this entire engagement. This is your time. I want you to get the most out of it. And with that being said, quick introduction of myself for those who do not know. My name is Corbin Pickett. I go by the brand name on Instagram, The Candid Professional. I believe we all should be able to bring our full candid self to our professional careers, our professional life. And so that's the work I go about doing, working with individuals one-on-one to rebrand themselves or enhance their brand to obtain a career of their desire, a career of fulfillment, and most likely with those that I work, a purpose-driven career. And I also work with workplaces and helping them curate workplace environments that help everyone feel like it's a truly purpose-driven environment, that they feel connected, that they feel seen, and that their team spirit and energy and effectiveness is optimized. So we have the casualness out the way of the introduction. Now let's get into the business at hand. I've had this categorized into 4 parts. Part 1, thinking with your goal in mind. Part 2, shaping the focus. Part 3, call to action. Part 4, bringing it all together. So this is a really streamlined way of looking at the different pieces that we will bring together to construct your LinkedIn summary draft. And if you've yet to been able to look in your email, or if you are looking along in the Google Doc, this is the LinkedIn summary writing guide we will be following along with. And so whether you want to, again, either reference the PDF that you have access to through your email, or feel free to reference the Google Doc and work along with us along the way, or sit back, take notes. I will consistently reference this image, so you will be able to visually walk along with us if you do not want to leverage an additional screen. For me, I'm a monotasker, so I would definitely be just focusing on the screen. But many other folks are way better at multitasking than I, so knock your socks off. Do what you do. Get it how you live. So setting the stage, what is it that you want out of your next phase of your career? That is the essence of why you were probably even brought here. Do you want a new job? Do you want more clients? Do you want a speaking gig? Or do you want just to build your brand awareness and maybe even build yourself as a thought leader? What do you want? Without that sort of destination or mission in mind, it's really hard to understand where we're trying to go or what we're trying to drive our readers to get out of this. So take a moment and consider in that first box, what is it that you want? What is your mission? And another just tidbit, I will be taking subtle pauses throughout today's online workshop for those who are noting along or trying to actually create their draft in this process. I want to give you space. I want to give you time to think. And for those who are just in the mode of writing notes, I want you to be also to have opportunity to just sit back in your thoughts and maybe jot down some things of what you're feeling is being unearthed as these questions are being asked. So I know for me in my particular state, I'm in a position of desiring more clients. So that should already position the rest of what I'm about to develop as far as, how I'm going to anchor it. Absolutely. So let's move forward. So you're adding what that thing is you want next in your career in your mission box. So this is the mission of your current focus, the mission of your current chapter in your career. Now let's get into thinking with your goal in mind. Now we already addressed the mission, and so that definitely represents the goal, and we're going to keep that thought. Thinking for a moment, what are the top 3 skills you want to leverage most as you move forward in your career? You know now that you want a new job, or you want more clients, or you want to identify more speaking gigs. And as you're striving for this goal, this mission, what are the top 3 skills you want to leverage most as you move forward in your career? So as I'm looking to support more clients, and I genuinely believe I can help people advance themselves in their career and own their career narrative through owning their brand and therefore calling in opportunities, I really want to leverage my skills in leadership development, my skills in being able to inspire people, allowing people to, give themselves permission to feel a bit, dare I say, cocky about themselves in a healthy way, in a way that allows us to boast a little bit more in speaking to our skills. Yeah, I'm great at this. Yeah, I'm great at that. I can really help you because of these skills. So inspiring people, leadership development, and I'm very passionate about mentoring and coaching. So these are my top skills that I want to leverage most as I move forward. Now a little bit of a pivot and some skills here listed on this next slide. Just briefly here listed to jog our minds of skill sets that are out there in the world. And I also want to dare you and push you to get even more creative with What skills are connected to you? What skills are the ones that you're most proud of, the ones that you consider to be your money makers? Now let's pivot, and there's a bit of an edit caveat, because I was last doing this workshop with a larger group, more time. We were working off of an hour and a half as opposed to a lunchtime, just an hour. And so I challenged them to come up with 3 skills. But for you all, because we're just on an hour time frame, think of 2 skills that you desire your future boss, next client, or audience to know that you're great in. So this might be something that you need to educate them on. I feel like I need to educate my audience on knowing that I'm very, very empathetic, and that my approach is not just about developing up your resume or developing up your LinkedIn. I take a very, very serious therapeutic approach. I want to understand what's really hindering you inside. What are the thought beliefs that you've generated, and the habits that you now lean into that might not be boding towards your desires? What might be the cultural or societal or even family narratives that you're up against that we might need to go through some cognitive unlearning to get to what it is that you truly want? So that doesn't immediately resonate in my leadership development skills or coaching skills. So I might need to lean into these things a little bit more in sharing them or educating my audience so that they can really feel trust, feel confident in seeking out my services and support. So what might be 2 skills that your audience may not be so understanding that you have, given your current title or role, or maybe it's just a little bit unknown to the work that you do? Okay, so now we have some greater context to our mission. And any questions out there at this point? We've gone through our first phase of addressing the mission and what it is about our mission we want to leverage most skill-wise moving forward. So we should have a list of 5 skills and a solid mission set in hand. Take a moment to conclude any notes at this time. All right, we're gonna move on forward. So part 2, the focus. So think for a moment, what is the impact you desire to have? And this can also be phrased in a couple of different ways. It can be thought of, who might be the people you want to support the most? Maybe it's a certain demographic of people. Maybe it is people in a certain stage of their life. For example, I really, really want to support professionals going through a transition, whether it's transitioning into entrepreneurship or transitioning from a career that they're not so excited about into a career of fulfillment. Or maybe it's, again, a certain demographic. I really want to help minorities, particularly Black and Brown people. But I'm passionate, very passionate about those who are facing intense levels of oppression from our current day society. And so a number of groups and communities can empathize with that. You also might look at it as, what is the problem that you want to work out that you want to work on? So we just had a question pop in. Can the skills we want to leverage and the skills we want others to know we have be the same? Yes. Yes, this can. They can be the same. There can be 100% direct overlap, but for the sake of really tapping into your critical thought process, as well as, you know, really pushing yourself to think what might be not communicated, I would challenge you to think of at least one skill, one of the two that you want your audience to know, to be something that you don't deem readily understood about what you do or what you're capable of doing. So I know that you're in the general tech bubble, Ahmed, and so I can reference immediately that for some in the tech sphere, they might be product development, product management, something product facing or coding facing, in which case intuitively in their job is a lot of human-centered aspects, but maybe their audience is not aware of that at all. Maybe their audience thinks there's a huge disconnect, so they need to actually educate their audience on how much connection and human-centered processing they do. So again, the challenge is, yes, there absolutely could be 100% overlap, but think of at least one skill that your audience needs a little bit more educating or inspiration to really lean into trust you, to really lean into have that confidence that you are the one that they need. Good question. Very good question. Okay, so we're thinking about our impact. And once you get that down, now we're going to think about what are two significant events that have led to you having your desire. So the way I look at this is, for me, going back to the last slide, what I want to have an impact in is helping professionals of color have a sense of career freedom. Like they can truly, truly tap into their dreams and reach a fulfilled career. I hear and see so many of us burdened with, oh, I need to help my family, or I'm seen as the first to achieve this, so I need to uphold this vision, someone else's vision of success, or these different narratives that we succumb to that aren't ours. And I want to help people shed those narratives and tap into their true version and vision of success. And so when I think about moments that have really significantly impacted this desire of mine, I think about the moments that I've seen people laid off and the moment that I myself went through being laid off and how that felt, feeling like you had no control, knowing that there's tension around the office and you just don't know what is going to go on or how long you have, and just feeling like, gosh, what could I do? Well, I learned I could own my brand and put myself in a position like a consultant. Like it didn't matter what company I'm with, I could still have this impact anywhere. When I had that mental shift, it really changed how I owned my brand. So that was a significant event. Another significant event was when I got a really huge consulting opportunity. And the main reason I was able to hook that deal was when the client expressed they had been following my social media presence for over a year. Like over a year, that blew my mind, but it allowed them over that time to build up a genuine trust in me and what I was doing, my why, and what motivated me, and my ability to do a level of quality work. And so that felt very easy and confident to lean out, to reach out and lean into offering me an opportunity to work with them on a project. So again, owning my brand and positioning myself in a way that showed that I could have an impact despite what organization I was under, really empowered people to uh, seek me out and hire me in various capacities. So those two significant events have really impacted me. And as we're building up your focus and complementing it with these two significant events of your life that contribute to that desire, what we ultimately now have is the shaping of your why. And that is a really, really powerful thing to try to consolidate and hone and play with that. Like, what is your why? Some of us already have a inkling of it, but I think it's so much more powerful when we can connect it to these different stories and events within our life. The most powerful way to connect with people is genuinely through storytelling. So anchoring your story with your why, connecting it with these events in your life will really connect with your readers, your ideal audience in particular. So another pause, we went through another section. So just a brief moment to let you all catch up on notes and to think of or ask any questions in the chat box. Okay, moving forward. Now jumping into part 3, call to action. So honestly, you all, we're doing ourselves a bit of a disservice if we're not going to use this space to drive our audience to do something. If we're just saying, hey, I'm here, okay, that's good. But part of owning our brand is letting people know what we want. And the way I look at it, it's very much so like letting people know how we want to be treated. And we need to announce that. We can't be quiet, or else people will interact with us how they see fit. So by channeling that, we can consolidate it into a call to action. And that call to action should absolutely be connected to what it is that we want next in our career. So that mission. If your mission is you want a new job, you should be offering a call to action very directly, or maybe more incognito, that you want to connect with people. Maybe you're saying, hey, I'm looking for opportunities in the digital space, and I want to leverage my skills in project management to help really inspire effective outcomes for an organization. That can be a call to action, and capping it off with how they can connect with you is key. So if you know of opportunities like this, let's connect. If you are in an organization and you need someone who is an expert in project management to drive that needle forward, I'm your gal, I'm your guy. Let's chat. Let's hop on a phone call. So here are some other thoughts on simple call to actions. We should grab coffee. If this applies to you, if you want to have this type of impact as well, then shoot me a message. Or I want to drive this impact. I want workspaces to be happy and healthy. If you are in the scope of needing a happy and healthy workplace or wanting to do this type of work, I'm looking to collaborate. So these are some actionable phrases. We can absolutely get more creative, get more direct, but no matter which way your call to action is worded, it should definitely link to that mission of yours. So what might be your call to action? Here's an example of Micah Day, LinkedIn, someone who's very proud of their LinkedIn summary in the sense of it's gotten a lot of traction and action for them. She even goes as far as to have a call to action in her headline, specifically saying, I'm hiring. She's not a recruiter. She's not in HR. She's head of sales. And she's letting folks know, I'm hiring. And she supplements that with a call to action that take it how you want. It could be direct or indirect, but I feel it directly ties with her direct call to action and complements it with letting people know exactly what she's looking for and that she's hiring. She expresses clearly that as a hiring manager at the Muse, some of the things I look for in a top talent is belief, curiosity, creativity, tenacity, a strong work ethic, a proactive thinker, and a strong personality. So a reader is immediately empowered to understand that if they're looking for opportunities in sales, that if they have those qualities, that this is probably a really good fit. So how might you be able to construct your language, your wording, to really empower your readers to feel comfortable, like, whoa, this would be a good fit. This would be someone who can fit this job opportunity or can really help me get ahead in my career, or whatever it is that connects with your mission. So obviously Micah Day's mission is trying to hire someone for a relevant position at her company. More specifically, it sounds like within her team. And then I also want to call out, Micah does a really fascinating job with sharing some things that she's proud of. So just below the highlighted cylinder, she expresses, I'm proud to work at a female-founded tech company that strives to be the most trusted and beloved career platform. I could go on, but I really love those descriptive adjectives of what she's connected to and what she's proud of and what she feels is, trusted and beloved. This gives a further call out to values and preferences and further announces that if you share these things, then you are even more of an ideal candidate for this company and this role. So how might you embed your story with things that you're proud of, with things that you're eager about, with things that you're excited for, to further announce these things that you're connected to, thus meeting the reader halfway and calling out to them that, hey, if you're like this, if you empathize with these things, then we got to connect. Another question coming in, great question. Should our summary be so long? Is a good example, but thought the summary was supposed to be like just a paragraph. So I look at this and I'm okay with this length. It is a bit lengthy, and I feel like in her last paragraph, and this is why I say it in particular, in her last paragraph, she allows herself to really tap into her personality. There's a respect here with how much of a dire position you are to obtain your mission. So Micah Day is a pretty established professional. She also likely has an HR team and recruiters working on her behalf, also looking for candidates. So she doesn't need to be so action driven and so to the point. She allows herself to tap into more personality, sharing a bit more about her story and what she's like. So that last paragraph could easily be deleted to be more consolidated into the mission and the call to action. But she allows herself to be a bit more playful with this. So in this respect, if you're really focused on trying to get a new job, then your story should be really focused on just that, and probably more concise as well. If you're going about being more of a brand awareness sharing angle, which Micah Day is, she's trying to share more of the brand of not just the muse, but of herself, really. And so she allows more personality to be shared. And so for that, she gets into more authentic and genuine storytelling. So it serves her purpose, and I don't deem it too long. But for some of us, we might want to be a little bit more concise and to our point. Either way, I don't feel like this is far off. I don't want you to lose out on sharing you. We need to unlearn tradition of bullet point structure, short and sweet, and allow yourself to share a bit of your personality. You don't want to go too much further beyond this, if at all beyond this. But I think this is healthy. And if your paragraph gets to be this length and you feel like you really hit on your top 5 strengths, your mission, your focus, and you wrap it up with a strong call to action, then maybe that's really what you need to tell your story. Mine, I feel, is about this long. And I really want to tell a story of, I used to have a nice, cozy career working in the digital advertising space. And then I got driven from toxic environments, and it spun me into a phase of rebranding and getting into a new line of work that connected with my why, my true north, my purpose. And so I felt like I wanted to do a little bit more storytelling, because I know a lot of people can empathize with those feelings and that journey. And I want to call out to that community. So you might need to find what sits well with you, but if you have half of this, then your summary is not long enough. If it's half this size, it is not long enough. You're not telling your story. You're being too much of a robot. I need to get to know you. Bringing it all together. All right, so now we've gone through this worksheet. We have our mission, we have our focus, we have thoughts around a call to action. And now when we bring this together, what I want you to be mindful of is that now we got to put the story in a way that it reads well, that it shares you well. So here's some writing tips as you're doing just that. And I want to save a lot of space so you have time for questions. You can ask me different things about the worksheet specifically, because I didn't go over that directly. I just went about how we would address it, but not if you had any questions on it. But as you're leveraging that worksheet and you're thinking about how to actually pull your story together, I want you to think about, hone in on what you want. Get out of your head as far as what you think a recruiter might want to see, or how a recruiter might be reading things. And I want you to really get introspective on what it is that you want. So case in point, if you're currently in the world of logistics and doing a lot of logistic management, project management, and you want to get into the tech world, or maybe you want to get into social impact and you just feel like there's no connection based on these industries, stop thinking about the industries. When you're thinking about the industries, you're thinking about outside perspective, and grandma or that friend from college saying, how are you going to make that jump? Whoa, that has nothing to do with each other. Nope, get out of your head. Lean into what you want and allow yourself to dig into those top skills that you want to leverage most moving forward. And just by focusing on those skills and the impact you want to have, you're speaking transferable language that anyone can pick up and understand and immediately apply that, oh, if you want to leverage your project management skills that you used in logistics over in tech or nonprofit, I get it. That makes sense. We all need project managers in these different spaces. And you might bring some added value going from one space into another with a new perspective. So, what is it that you want? And let's lean into going for that. And share with the reader why. Let them know why. I know it can be a little bit daunting, vulnerable maybe, to unearth why we might be going through a career transition, why we want a job in a new industry, why we want to move from New York to California. Well, I mean, besides the weather. Leaning into letting the reader know why shifts any mystery that they might deem there and evades any story injection that they might do themselves. So we don't want them to just go about what human nature normally does. Oh, there's a space I don't know, so that's a mystery to me. I'm just going to make it up. They are trying to transition from one industry to the next because they think there's more money involved. And so they're just trying to go for a pay increase. I don't know, but they might just make something up. And that might not play to your benefit. So fill in those gaps. It will add value to you and your story. So next point, attach emotion to skills and strengths. Let the reader know what you're proud of. Let the readers know what you're excited to be able to do as you move forward in your career, what you're passionate about, or what you have a really strong interest in. Maybe even to the extent of what you would like to learn most as you move forward, or what you would like to teach and share most as you move forward. So these emotions can absolutely help jump out to the reader of what you're connected to. And it creates this dynamic of, oh, I absolutely can lean into you for coaching and mentoring because it's something that you're proud of doing. And if I reach out to you for it, you'll be receptive and you'll be enthused. And another thing about skills and strength, I want you to use another area of your LinkedIn profile to help you with this aspect. Naturally, that is your skills section. So we all have a skills and endorsement section further down in our LinkedIn. And within that, if you haven't taken time already, you should really, as a predecessor to completing your summary, go through that skills section. Set aside an evening. Even when I'm working with my coaching clients, I put them up to this task and I say, even make a night of it, have a little self-date, pour a little glass of wine, sit back, and really allow yourself to get intimate with these skills. And go over the skills section in 3 phases. 1, go through and add as many skills as you feel relevant to you as possible to that list. You can add in skills that are already suggested by just clicking on them through the editing of the skills access, or you can insert your own created skills. So flesh that skill list out. You should definitely be able to get that skill list up to 50 or more. Challenge yourself to do so. If that's easy, see about 65. Really push yourself. Phase 2. At this point, think about, okay, now that I've really fleshed out this skill list, are there any skills on this list that I have no desire to leverage forward as I move forward in my career. So for me, if I were to really flesh out my skills list, which I've done this exercise for myself a lot, skills like HTML, CSS would come up there. I've taken pride in always developing my own websites. I've developed my different entrepreneurial ventures throughout my history as a, the genuine, I pride myself on my ingenuity and being able to bootstrap. So I'm cool. I'm excited about being able to leverage my coding skills to do for myself and my own brand development and my own website creation. But to do that as a real job for someone else, oh my goodness, that would be daunting and intimidating. I don't feel like I have the skill set. Not that I don't feel like, I know I don't have that ultimate skill set. I'm very aware of that and okay with it. I can get by, but for me and what my vision is and what I need for what I need from my websites and how I need them to uh, act and interact with my audience. So I'm competent and comfortable with that, but to say I could help someone else with their vision, I'm not capable. And also, it's not what I want to do. I don't have a strong interest in it. I don't have a passion in it. And I much so respect when other people are able to tap into that skill set and do it for me when I'm trying to take my websites to the next level even. So in the phase 2 of the skills assessing process, I would delete and knock off HTML and CSS. And then in phase 3, I would go about looking at this new list that I have edited, still a very robust list, easily 40 or so skills. Phase 3, I'm looking at this point to prioritize them from top all the way through. I want to prioritize these skills. And I'm thinking to myself, which are the skills that I'm most proud of, I'm looking forward to leveraging most as I move forward in my career, and that I am considering to be my top money makers, the skills that I feel I leverage most to help people or organizations make money, save money, or save time. So again, money making skills to me, how I phrase it to my my audience, my clients, is those skills that help you help others make money, save money, or save time. Because let's face it, in the world of business, that's all that we're looking for. Someone or something that can help us make more money, save more money, or save on time. So once you consolidate that skills section and your assessment of it is thorough and you got it all prioritized, you then want to lean into those top 5 skills and thinking about how they fit into this development of your summary. And then the last bullet point here as a writing tip is write in first person. I see a trend in people sometimes either just thinking it's a bit more professional in a ageist way. Speaking of like, I'm more mature in my professionalism, so to speak, to speak in third person, or some people generally just go ahead and copy and paste a introduction that they already shared with somebody and put it in as their LinkedIn summary. It may serve its purpose, as letting someone know who you are in a general way, but it may not have a call to action, and announcing yourself in third person is not the most inviting way to build a relationship with an individual. And that's what our summary is here to do. It's here to kickstart a relationship. So we want to be warm and to be warm and extending that handshake and saying hi, it's nice to meet you, come in and let's chat, stay a while. You want to write in a first person. You want to be inviting. So now just jumping back and referencing our guide again, as you're thinking about those tips and how they fit with the construction of your story, you might want to play with the order of these things. In particular, I like to think of it, you want to introduce yourself and just let them know, hi, my name is, something short and sweet, and then get into that focus of yours, your why, and the events that led into this desire, your focus. And from there, what connects readily from that point is then getting into your mission and the skills connected to your mission that allow you to feel competent and confident that you can really drive your impact that into that mission of yours via those skills that you're very confident in. And then anchoring all of this with your call to action. So very, very, very high level, it might read something like, hi, my name is Corbin. I want to help professionals, or I'm focusing on helping professionals tap into their sense of career freedom and living their best professional life, being able to bring their true, candid self to their professional career. This is so important to me because I remember when I felt like I couldn't. It was stressful, it was depressing, and it riddled me with anxiety. And so my mission is to connect with individuals that empathize with these experiences so we can sit down for a consultation chat. I'm known confident in being able to help professionals like this or going through these situations because of my skills in leadership development, coaching and mentoring, and being able to inspire people. I know, and I'm able to really connect with people on a people level through building true empathy and connecting with them because I know the value of storytelling. And by sitting back and listening to their story, I'll get to know them. So if this applies to you, if you feel like you're in a transition and seeking a career fulfillment, reach out, let's connect. Let's set up a time to chat. So obviously a bit winded because I'm doing the opposite of paraphrasing, extended phrasing, and just going off the top of my head how this can flow for you all potentially using my own story. And as you can see, this allows a reader to feel invited that you've experienced something or you're connected to something. And if that might apply to them, then they can feel confident that you're competent in those ways because of your skill sets, and they can feel motivated, inspired, empowered to connect with you or to extend the relationship with you in however way you see fit based on your call to action. So hopefully that run through was really helpful in just how you might be able to take the actual pieces of your worksheet and rearrange it to have the bones and the meat of the structure of your LinkedIn summary. And that concludes us for today, you all. As we wrap, I want to make sure there's still time for questions. So please, any questions that are coming to mind, get them in now. And I also want to encourage you all to keep in touch. You have my email here listed on the screen. please do not hesitate to reach out. Let's connect. If you want to take me up on some of my services and drive further in defining your summary or building out the rest of your LinkedIn profile or your brand, reach out. Let's chat. I will be sharing a 10% discount for all those I've been able to be so blessed to connect with throughout the month of April, whether through my online workshops or LinkedIn review chats. So that will be on its way via email, but you don't have to wait for that. Reach out. That offer only lasts through the month of April. So don't hesitate at all. Definitely want to make sure I am able to support as many folks being able to tap into their sense of career freedom. So again, that starts with you expressing yourself for you, not thinking about anyone else's wants or desires, but leaning into owning your career narrative and shaping your brand to get and yield the results that you desire for your version of success. Oh, wow. This is a really cool insight. So during this session, we have someone who received an insight. Can you share your name, please? That's amazing. That's so cool. Congratulations. Someone just received an offer from Nike and express their gratitude for my support and guidance. I'm so happy I could support. That's amazing. Ahmed, yo, that's terrific, my guy. Let's definitely connect and chat about how you want to make the most of that experience, or even the predecessor to that, if you need to see about how you can go about that contract negotiation to make sure you're giving space for getting the compensation you want, definitely, and also the compensation through non-monetary means. So making sure they're gonna pour into you through professional development. And if there are certain learnings that you want, make sure that you say, hey, I want to be mentored to get exposure in international deals or international marketing. So make sure that that's some of part of some of your talks, and that you are positioning yourself for growth even before you step into the doors. But again, huge congratulations. Let's absolutely stay in touch to see how you can continuously build. And with that, you all, thank you so much for joining today. Don't be a stranger. Continue to build and own your career narratives and your brand, and reach that vision of success that you have only for you. Because, hey, the world needs it. Let's be real. When we tap into what it is that fulfills us, we're making the world just a little bit better of a place. I genuinely believe that. So take that with you all and have an amazing day. Peace out.